From college football to the WWE to being one of the most paid actors of all time, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. But who is The Rock behind the camera, and what is his life story? Early life. Dwayne Johnson was born in Hayward, California, May 2nd of 1972. He was born into a family of wrestlers, so his career path seemed as if it had been laid before he even arrived in the world. His grandfather on his mother's side was a professional wrestler known as High Chief Peter Maivia during the 1960s and 70s, and it's through this part of the family that Dwayne is related to the Anoa wrestling family from the Samoan Islands. His grandmother also pioneered Polynesian pro wrestling and worked as a promoter through the 1980s. Dwayne's father was Soul Man Rocky Johnson, who was on the American wrestling circuit and involved in boxing throughout the 1970s and beyond. He was even George Foreman's sparring partner in the run-up to the Rumble in the Jungle fight with Muhammad Ali in 1974. Dwayne's mother is Samoan, and when he was a child, he briefly lived with his mother's family in New Zealand, where he learned to play rugby. He then returned to the United States, and when he was in high school, he was so tall, being then 6 feet and 4 inches and 225 pounds, that his classmates were convinced he was an undercover police officer. He wasn't, but he was a star athlete as a youngster, although wrestling did not seem to be in his passion, not yet anyways. He had several run-ins with the law, and by the time that he was 17 years old, he had been arrested several times. After high school, his sporting talents then took him to play college football on an athletic scholarship at the University of Miami. And after this, he went undrafted in the 1995 NFL Draft and eventually wound up signing with the Canadian Football League, playing for the Calgary Stampeders. This would be short-lived, however, because wrestling was right around the corner. Wrestling career. In 1996, Dwayne Johnson made his first appearance in the WWF with the name of Rocky Maivia. This name paid tribute to both his father and his grandfather, but he suffered a knee injury and couldn't return until the following year, when he appeared under his new name, The Rock. And this is where The Rock really had all of his talent. His athleticism, size, speed, and ability to work the microphone rapidly made him one of the most popular and successful wrestling stars of the time. He's literally won awards for his trash talk. The Rock was in the WWE between 1996 and 2004, and then again between 2011 and 2019. He does still make appearances at special events to this day. During his time at WWE, he was world champion 10 times, intercontinental champion twice, tag team champions of 5 separate occasions, the winner of the 2000 Royal Rumble, and he became the WWE's 6th Triple Crown champion. He headlined at WrestleMania 6 times and brought in the audience for the most watched episodes of Raw and SmackDown. Career breakthrough. The Rock was already an international superstar for all of his wrestling success, but he still had another career ahead of him in acting. He was still wrestling when he took on his first acting gig on That 70s Show, which he played his own father. A year after that first appearance, he was in an episode of Star Trek Voyager, where he played an alien wrestler. In 2001, his acting career took off when he starred in The Mummy Returns. This would be quickly followed up by another sequel to the franchise, The Scorpion King, and he had many other roles from Doom in 2005 to The Game Plan in 2007, Get Smart in 2008, and Tooth Fairy in 2010. There were plenty of others in between, but it was all beginning to add up, and The Rock was almost as famous as an actor as he was in the wrestling ring. Hollywood success. 2011 brought about box office success for Johnson when he played Luke Hobbs in Fast 5. It was the 7th highest grossing film of the year, and even the skeptics were beginning to see the appeal of The Rock. He turned up in several movie franchises, including the next installments as Luke Hobbs in Fast and Furious 6, and began to get a reputation for being able to reinvigorate tired old sequels with his charm. In 2013, The Rock was the top grossing actor of the year, his movies making about $1.3 billion globally. That same year, Johnson executive produced and starred in Ballers, an HBO series that was set in Miami about NFL football players. The series premiered in 2015 and ran for 5 seasons. In the years that would follow, Johnson had role after role in hit films, many of which were hits because he was in them, and he hosted a reality series called Wake Up Call, in which he had helped people to face massive challenges with the support of a bunch of sidekicks from the fitness and well-being industry. He was in Furious 7 in 2015 and a disaster movie called San Andreas that same year. In 2016, he starred alongside Kevin Hart in Central Intelligence and voiced the character of Maui in Disney's Moana. He then revealed that the character was based on his own grandfather. Over and over again, he was proving that he could play all sorts of parts, kind of as himself, to be fair, and the people would go see the film or TV show or whatever it was that he was in. The Fate of the Furious in 2017 would be quickly followed by starring roles in Baywatch and Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle. Both of these became massive blockbuster hits and continued to give Johnson work for the next couple of years with yet even more sequels. In the last couple of years, he's co-starred in The Jungle Cruise alongside Emily Blunt. This was a Disney film that was based on a theme park ride of the same name. However, he didn't stop there. Apparently, Johnson even helped with the redesign of the old Jungle Cruise rides for all of the Disney theme parks. The man has talent and influence that seems to know no bound. He never stops. He doesn't even know how to slow down. In fact, he basically seems to be constantly working on multiple projects at the same time, and he still has the opportunity to keep up a heavy social media presence where he loves to tweet and TikTok about everything that he does, along with going to the gym, which he does a lot. In 2022, he starred as the DC superhero Black Adam, which he also produced and promoted, and set up his production company, 7 Bucks Productions, all the way back in 2012. It was named that because it's how much money that he had when he was cut from the team in the Canadian Football League. His production credits include Fighting with My Family, a comedy drama about English professional wrestler Saraya Beavis and her pro wrestler family. Johnson also made an appearance as himself in the film. He's created a biographical series of his own life on NBC called Young Rock and has producing credits in many other movies and shows. Outside of the movie industry, Johnson has been busy in many other projects, from launching his own brand of tequila in 2020, which sold ridiculously well in its first year, to the joint purchase of the XFL, a professional American football minor league. He also launched a successful season, which was then followed up with a merger with the United States Football League. The joint league became the UFL, or United Football League, at the end of 2023. He's written books, hosted television shows, partnered with Under Armour, the US-based fitness clothing brand, to make a range of items that all sold out within hours of being launched. And he, of course, has his own YouTube channel and has appeared in music videos and even featured in rap songs. The Rock is everywhere, and people love him and cannot get enough. Personal life. Dwayne Johnson has a personal life that's as rich and full as his professional life and shares a lot of it with the public through his social media. He was married to the American film producer and businesswoman Dani Garcia in 1997. When they met, they were both students at the University of Miami. The couple had a daughter named Simone in 2001, who now wrestles under the name of Ava and is signed to the WWE. She's a fourth-generation wrestler, and Johnson and Garcia announced an amicable separation in 2007, with their divorce being finalized in 2008. In 2007, he met Laura Haitian, and they began dating. They were married in 2019 and have 2 daughters together named Jasmine and Tiana. The family lived between their home in Los Angeles and their farm in Virginia, with another property in Florida. Even though it seems that he couldn't possibly have time with all of the work that he does, Dwayne Johnson actually has loads of hobbies. He loves to fish and even raises his own bass on his farm. He loves to play guitar and was gifted a guitar by none other than Willie Nelson for his birthday in 2010. Johnson's heritage is extremely important to him, and back in 2003 he got a tattoo to display his heritage in a traditional style that is part of Samoan culture. It took over 60 hours to complete the artwork, which extends from his chest all through to his left arm, and he's also an active supporter of the Samoan rugby team and was right behind them in the 2021 Rugby League World Cup when they made it to the finals for the first time in their history. Johnson has spoken openly about his struggles with depression, which began when he was in college and has recurred all throughout his life. He advocates for increased awareness of the condition and is open about his own battles while also encouraging others to seek support. Over the years, Johnson has also been active in charity work. He's established the Dwayne Johnson Rock Foundation in 2006, a charity that works with at-risk and terminally ill children. He often donated to causes that helped in the aftermath of disasters, supporting the SAG-AFTRA strike in 2023 by making a huge donation, the biggest that they ever received from one single donor. He was a supporter of Barack Obama in 2008 and 2012, but after endorsing Joe Biden in 2020, he said he would not support anyone the next time around because of the division that it had caused. He even stated that he would run for president himself in the future if that was what the people wanted. A poll then found that 46% of Americans would actually vote for The Rock, so he may stand a chance at the White House. He's been called the Great One, the People's Champion, and the most electrifying man in all of entertainment. It seems that The Rock was always destined to break out of the confines of the ring, and he did it in the same way in which he had dominated professional wrestling, with charm, charisma, and a raised eyebrow, to become the most enormous star and billion-dollar grossing Hollywood legend. He is truly one of a kind. What do you think about the life and career of The Rock? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, be sure you subscribe because the next life behind the camera is coming out soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.